for a long time, it was just fun. And it was just a blast. You know, we just had a lot of good times.
The post went up just after midnight. No caption, no explanation, just a cropped scan of what looked suspiciously like a tax form. Christine had always played the long game, but this felt like checkmate.
Yeah. My leg is always over on top of this.
It's always? When we're sitting there, she puts her leg on.
Always.
My leg all the time.
You're blushing.
I know.
No.
You're blushing.
We'll talk.
Viewers were still wiping off their face masks and crawling into bed when the image started circulating, blown up, filtered, and enhanced by every Sister Wives forum on the internet. And in the corner, just above a blurry income line, someone spotted it. A bold red underline with the word HALVED scrawled across it, in all caps. Christine didn't say a word. She didn't have to. The internet lit up like fireworks on the 4th of July. Rumors spread within hours that the leaked form was linked to Kody's personal earnings and that it showed a massive dip in income from the previous year. But that wasn't the part that sent longtime fans into a spiral. What really grabbed them was the handwritten margin note on the side. Circled twice, almost like a whisper and a scream, were 2 words, post-sale. Suddenly, it wasn't just about tax numbers anymore. It was about timing. It was about Coyote Pass. It was about whether Kody had quietly sold off part of the land and walked away with far more or far less than he ever admitted to his family. People who had followed the Brown family for over a decade knew this wasn't just messy, it was surgical.
You need to turn a mirror on yourself, and you need to look at yourself good and hard. You wonder what ended this era, and it was you. You picked favorites. He picked favorites.
Christine knew exactly what she was doing, and if the numbers were even remotely legit, the implications were staggering. What else had Kody been keeping from the wives before everything exploded? Why leak the docs now, months after walking away from their shared history? And more importantly, who else knew about the income drop? Robin? Mary? Janelle? Reddit threads popped up within minutes, claiming to have decoded the partially blurred information. Allegedly, the document was a Schedule C, a form typically tied to self-employed income, and it showed a gross revenue number followed by a line item deduction so steep it made jaws drop. Even more damning, a second fainter scan attached below it that seemed to list the same form with wildly different numbers. Were they from different years, or 2 versions of the same filing?
And then he tried to pretend like it wasn't true and it was all us and it was not even, and you can't do that. You just can't do it. And come on. He's just playing a game with her heart right there.
Christine didn't confirm or deny anything, but eagle-eyed fans noticed something odd in the background of the photo she'd posted, a beige marble table that looked identical to one spotted in her Arizona home before the split, which raised the question, how long had she been holding on to this? It was the silence that made it deafening. TLC said nothing. Kody stayed radio silent. Even Robin, usually quick to leap to his defense, avoided all public comment. But as fans zoomed in on the fuzzy corner of the form, they spotted a number barely visible, one that didn't just suggest a drop in earnings, but a total financial reshuffle that seemed to come out of nowhere. And tucked into the upper right margin was a set of initials no one expected, 2 tiny letters that might unravel everything. The initials were RB, simple, small, but in this family, nothing was ever simple, and nothing was ever small. Fans didn't need to be told who those initials pointed to. They've been watching Robin Brown inch her way to center stage for over a decade, and now it looked like her name was scribbled in the margins of a potential financial cover-up.
I think the biggest thing is whether or not you're able to process through it enough that you can be yourself again, because you've been very angry.
Christine didn't tag anyone. She didn't need to, because the internet did the tagging for her. Within hours, whispers began to circulate that the timing of Kody's income dip lined up suspiciously well with the Coyote Pass land sale, a transaction that up until now had been shrouded in half answers and vague explanations. Insiders claim the sale wasn't handled through Kody personally, but through an LLC registered to a family associate whose name had never appeared on the show. That alone raised red flags. But what really turned heads? Rumor has it that this LLC quietly transferred ownership of one parcel to a second business entity just 3 days before the original tax form was allegedly filed. On paper, it could all be legitimate. Property can move through LLCs for any number of reasons. Tax planning, liability, you name it. But in context, it felt shady, especially when fans dug up an archived interview where Kody vaguely boasted about structuring things smart to keep what's ours. That was 2 years ago, before the divorces, before the backlash, before the wives stopped playing along. The 2 signatures at the bottom of the leaked form only added more fuel to the fire, both in Kody's unmistakable handwriting, big loops, dramatic slants, but dated 2 weeks apart. One was dated shortly after the supposed land transfer. The other Nearly 15 days later, with a different mailing address listed underneath, people began to ask, was one the original filing and the second a corrected version? Or was one meant to be hidden altogether? Christine's fans, now a full-blown digital army, began circulating side-by-side screenshots of Kody's signature from legal documents over the years. The matches were undeniable, and yet neither Kody nor Robin responded publicly, not even a denial, which in this franchise spoke volumes.
I'm very pleased and happy at this point from the experience that I've had to be in a monogamous marriage with you.
Okay. I love you.
I love you.
Meanwhile, one anonymous insider posted on a fan forum that Christine had been sitting on these docs for over a year, waiting for the perfect moment. According to them, the moment came when a local realtor slipped up and confirmed that only one party had received payout from the Coyote Pass sale. And it wasn't Christine. It wasn't Janelle. It wasn't Mary. That would leave one name on the check, and one name only. And that's when fans noticed something odd about Kody's timeline. If he really made less than half of what he did the year prior, why was he suddenly hiring new staff? Just days after Christine's mysterious post, another breadcrumb appeared, this time from inside the TLC machine itself. A self-identified former crew member, known only as K, surfaced on a long-running Sister Wives subreddit, with claims that sent shockwaves through the fandom. She didn't post tax documents. She didn't drop names. But what she said painted a picture of sheer panic behind the scenes. According to her, shortly after the Coyote Pass land sale was finalized, someone from Kody's inner circle allegedly reached out to TLC production with a desperate request: scrub any raw footage that included references to appraisals, sale figures, or private financial strategy discussions. The way Kay told it, producers were caught off guard. While editing room conversations about legal issues weren't new, divorces, custody, real estate, they'd never received such frantic, repeated calls before. She claimed that someone who she carefully did not name was very concerned about Christine being filmed, asking too many detailed questions about the land's final value. The scene had apparently been shot during a group picnic at Coyote Pass, with Christine off to the side, holding a folded piece of paper and looking visibly annoyed. According to Kay, Christine had just asked a cameraman if they were allowed to film lies. That footage never aired. Fans, of course, went hunting. They dug up every picnic and campfire moment, analyzing Christine's body language, Robin's sudden interjections, and Kody's vague answers about future plans. One sharp-eyed viewer even pointed out a strange jump cut in one episode, mid-conversation, mid-sentence, right after Christine questioned why one of the lots had been reassigned. And now, with the leaked tax document in play, those edits suddenly felt very deliberate. Insiders allege that Robin may have privately encouraged Kody to clean up any footage that could contradict the public story that the land sale had been equally transparent and fairly distributed. Whether or not that's true, fans are convinced something was erased, and they believe Christine still has the original. Kay even hinted that Christine had her own unapproved footage, potentially filmed on her personal phone during or after production days, and if that's the case, if Christine has her own time-stamped receipts, the Brown family's narrative could be in serious trouble. What no one saw coming was the resurgence of a very old clip. It came from a behind-the-scenes reel filmed almost 7 years ago. In it, Kody jokes, "One day this land is gonna save us or ruin us." Back then, it was just bravado. Now, it's a prophecy, because there's another bombshell Christine has allegedly been keeping under wraps. And rumor has it, it's not just about land or taxes or even Robin. It's about who really got paid and who didn't. By midweek, the debate had gone far beyond tax forms and Reddit theories. A forensic accountant named Jane, who'd made a name for herself breaking down celebrity prenups and reality TV pay disputes, jumped into the fray with a chilling assessment. She didn't work for the Browns, she clarified, but she had seen enough public patterns to weigh in. Jane explained on a live stream that income reports like the one Christine leaked can show intentional compression, a method where someone minimizes taxable income on paper while shifting funds elsewhere. It's not always illegal, she emphasized, but it does raise eyebrows. And in Kody's case, the red flags were flying. The biggest? A single line labeled consulting fee for a round six-figure sum placed just below a depreciation entry. Jane pointed out that consulting is a vague category, frequently used in industries where services are intangible and value is subjective. But here's the kicker. Fans quickly connected that dollar amount to a very real-world purchase Robin had made around the same time, a custom furniture order, and a rumored jewelry buy that insiders say reached well into 5 figures. To most people, that might sound like a stretch, but Sister Wives fans aren't most people. They catalog timelines, receipts, outfit changes, vehicle upgrades, and when Robin appeared in a Facebook ad for a local boutique wearing what looked like a brand new custom-cut emerald necklace just weeks after the land deal closed, people started asking hard questions. Who paid for that necklace? Where did the cash come from? And why did it match almost exactly the consulting fee line item Christine just leaked? Jane was careful with her words. If this was marital income, she said, and if it was dispersed or converted into luxury assets without proper disclosure, that's not just messy, it's legally risky. She went on to suggest that if Christine was ever part of that income pool, even indirectly, she might have standing to demand further review, especially if what was filed doesn't match what was spent. That's when the lawyer talk began. A Utah-based legal blogger claimed to have sources close to Christine's team who say this leak wasn't spontaneous, it was strategic, that Christine had allegedly been waiting to make her move until Robin and Kody crossed a financial line that could be backed up by real-world evidence. And the consulting fee? According to that source, it might be just the first of several payments Christine is planning to bring to light, because the real story might not be about income dropping. It might be about where the rest of the money went, and who signed for it. Once the scent of money was in the air, the sleuths did what they do best. They followed it. And what they uncovered next sent the fandom spiraling. Over a dozen PayPal screenshots started circulating across fan groups and private Facebook pages, all allegedly showing transfers tied to accounts linked to Brown family business ventures. Most were dated within a narrow window, just weeks before the Coyote Pass land sale closed. And the amounts? They weren't small. One for $25,000. Another for $78,000, a third for $53,000, labeled with nothing but a vague admin retainer. None of them matched up with known Brown family LLC filings, and yet the timing was uncanny. These weren't official leaks, no blue check marks, no media confirmation, but they were compelling. Fans began matching the usernames on the blurred transfers to prior Brown-affiliated emails that had once been visible in public business filings. At the center of it all, a single PayPal account rumored to be tied to Robin. And that's when Christine's silence started feeling loud. Insiders whisper that Christine may be the one who first saved the screenshots. According to a fan blog with ties to Flagstaff locals, Christine was part of a shared group chat back when the family still pretended to function as one financial unit. In it, they discussed filming schedules, receipts, and reimbursements. But over time, that chat allegedly shifted focus, especially once Coyote Pass started generating behind-the-scenes drama. The same blog claims Christine screenshotted several heated exchanges involving money, screenshots she's allegedly kept tucked away, waiting for the right moment to leak them. And this might just be that moment. People close to the situation claim she's holding back even more proof, something concrete. Not just numbers and usernames, but the why, a message or statement that allegedly reveals who instructed the payments and what they were for. That's what separates gossip from a full-on bombshell, and if Christine really has it, that would explain the panic, because despite Kody and Robin's PR silence, sources say their inner circle has gone into damage control mode. Allegedly, several local vendors tied to Robin's household purchases were suddenly contacted this week. Some even asked to confirm or deny transactions that date back to the fall. It's as if someone is trying to backtrack the paper trail before Christine makes her next move, and she might not be the only one with access, because there's a name that's been curiously quiet throughout all of this, a name fans didn't expect to surface again. But if the rumors are true, she's ready to speak, and she was there when the money moved. It was supposed to be a low-key celebration. Balloons, cupcakes, maybe a unicorn piñata. But Ariela's birthday party reportedly turned into something else entirely, an unplanned showdown with years of tension bubbling just beneath the surface. According to someone who claims to have been in the parking lot that day, the whole thing started out cordial. Christine showed up with gifts. Janelle smiled through gritted teeth. Even Mary, who's mastered the art of the tight-lipped half-hug, made an appearance. But things shifted the moment Robin's oldest brought out a camcorder, claiming it was just for memories. That's when Kody allegedly snapped. Insiders say Kody pulled Christine aside, not gently, and told her point blank, "This stops now. No more leaks, no more tax talk, no more stirring up the past." But Christine didn't back down. A Flagstaff local who claims to have overheard the argument says Christine stood her ground, reminding Kody that the truth doesn't go away just because he's uncomfortable. "I didn't start this," she allegedly said, "but I will finish it." What shocked everyone wasn't just the confrontation, it was who backed her. Mary. Yes, Mary, who for years played the loyal wife card even as the walls closed in. According to the same source, Mary muttered something as she passed Christine in the hallway. "You're not wrong." It wasn't loud. It wasn't meant for Kody, but Christine heard it, and for the first time in years, the silence between them cracked. That crack, however, didn't last long because the real scene, the one everyone's whispering about, happened just outside, near the family van. A camera crew was reportedly on standby, filming B-roll when Robin allegedly pulled Christine aside. There were no smiles, no soft words, just a hard, cold statement that left Christine frozen in place. "I know what you're doing, and you don't want to open that box." Whatever that meant, Christine didn't respond. But the footage, if it exists, could be explosive. Some fans speculate that Robin's comment was a veiled threat, tied not to emotion but to paperwork, records, bank statements, or even emails that might prove a pattern of financial favoritism. Others believe Robin was panicking, finally realizing that the story she'd helped spin for years was unraveling publicly and beyond her control. And through it all, one other wife reportedly stood off to the side, not speaking, watching, listening, because what happened at that party wasn't just a family squabble. It may have been the last time they were all in the same room before one of them decided to call a lawyer. The morning after that birthday blow-up, everything felt different. The posts slowed, the fan theories paused, but the tension only grew because now the leaks weren't just dramatic, they were starting to look actionable. A legal analyst named Carolyn Beck, known for her plain-spoken breakdowns of celebrity lawsuits, weighed in with a warning that turned heads. If those tax documents are real, she said during her weekly live stream, Kody Brown might be facing more than just fan backlash. He might be triggering interest from the IRS. According to Carolyn, the leaked Schedule C-style document suggested more than a simple drop in income. It pointed to the possibility of misreported funds, specifically that mysterious consulting fee which lined up suspiciously well with Robin's rumored shopping spree. If that line item was used to deduct personal purchases or transfer communal funds under the guise of business expenses, that could raise serious red flags. "This isn't just about who paid for furniture," she said. "It's about how money moved and whether the government got their fair share." But what really lit up the fan base was a second statement, one that slid almost casually into Carolyn's analysis. Christine's lawyer likely vetted this before anything was shared publicly, she said. "This isn't a revenge post, it's a strategy." And that's when people started connecting the dots. A Flagstaff area paralegal, who claimed to have worked on filings adjacent to the Browns' trust documents, said in a since-deleted comment that Christine's legal team had been collecting and cross-referencing data for months. She hinted that more than taxes were at stake, that Christine might be preparing to file a formal complaint over financial mismanagement tied to their former shared LLC. And if she does, it won't just be Kody on the hook. Under Arizona law, any spouse who knowingly benefited from concealed marital assets, even post-separation, could be drawn into discovery. That includes Robin. That includes anyone who signed off on purchases with communal money. And most damning of all, that includes anyone who received funds labeled consulting if they weren't actually performing a service. Fans went wild trying to guess what Christine's lawyer would do next. Some speculated that a demand letter had already been sent privately. Others believed this was Christine's version of a warning shot, public enough to rattle nerves, but just shy of a court filing. Whatever the case, the silence from Kody and Robin was starting to speak volumes. Because it's one thing to threaten legal action, it's another to be holding the receipts. And according to a Flagstaff jeweler, those receipts may already match the money down to the last dollar. The jeweler didn't want to be named. That much was clear from the start. But once the screenshots made their way into local circles, one boutique owner quietly stepped forward, speaking through an anonymous tip to a fan-run Instagram page. The message was short but potent. Yes, she bought it here. Yes, it was custom. Yes, it was paid in full cash. And just like that, the final puzzle piece seemed to click into place. The she was understood to be Robin. The it was a striking emerald and diamond necklace, first seen in a blurry photo from a boutique trunk show last fall, right around the time the consulting fee appeared in the leaked tax document. The price tag, allegedly just over $48,000. According to the jeweler, the transaction wasn't recorded in the usual customer ledger at Robin's request. Instead, the cash was counted in the back office, verified, and walked straight to the vault. But here's the part that made people gasp. The same jeweler claims that while the purchase was being finalized, a man stood outside the shop for nearly 20 minutes pacing. Glasses on, phone pressed tight to his ear. He didn't come inside. He didn't interact with staff. But when shown a blurry street cam image from a fan, the jeweler simply said, "That's him." It was Kody. The image, snapped by a nearby pedestrian and later posted to a fan account, shows a man with Kody's signature blonde curls and long coat standing under a shop awning, eyes locked on the window. According to timestamps on the jewelry store's records, the cash sale and the sighting lined up almost exactly. And the timing, just 2 weeks after the Coyote Pass land transfer finalized. Was the jewelry the consulting fee? Was it a reward? A bribe? A last-ditch attempt to keep someone quiet? No one can say for sure. But what is known, what's visible, what's real, is that a piece of jewelry worth nearly $50,000 was purchased in cash during a time when Kody was claiming diminished income and Robin was denying any financial favoritism. Christine, meanwhile, still hadn't commented directly, but she didn't have to. Her followers were doing the heavy lifting, and some were already tagging investigative reporters, local news outlets, and even tax attorneys. At this point, it was no longer a question of whether something shady happened, it was a matter of who was about to get subpoenaed first. And just when the firestorm peaked, one tiny county clerk made a quiet update to the land records, and that's when fans really lost it. It slipped in under the radar. No announcement, no news headline. Just a minor update to a public file buried deep in the Coconino County Recorder's database, but someone was watching. One eagle-eyed fan, who had set up alerts on every Coyote Pass parcel months ago, received the ping at 3 in the morning. And what they found sent shockwaves through the Sister Wives community. A correction deed, filed less than 48 hours after Christine posted that tax document, the filing amended a previous land transfer involving one of the most contested Coyote Pass lots. The update wasn't flashy, just a one-page form adjusting ownership clarification and signature order. But to those familiar with real estate law, the implications were huge. A correction deed isn't used lightly. It means someone found a mistake, one that might affect legal ownership, payout responsibilities, or even the legitimacy of the original transfer. And fans instantly linked the timing to Christine's leak. The parcel in question had long been rumored to be earmarked for Robin's children, an idea Kody had floated during an emotional campfire scene back in season 15, but the original deed had never named the kids. Instead, it listed a vague LLC as the recipient, and now, just days after Christine's post triggered renewed scrutiny, that LLC's documentation was being rewritten. Insiders whisper that the correction wasn't initiated by the recorder's office, but by a private party with standing, which in layman's terms means someone connected to the sale asked for the change, quietly behind closed doors, and likely with legal guidance. Was it Kody? Robin? Or someone trying to cover their tracks before Christine made her next move? Whatever the case, fans smelled smoke. Some began filing their own Freedom of Information requests, hoping to uncover the full trail. Others pointed out that the corrected deed now aligned perfectly with the year-to-year income shift Christine had highlighted, suggesting that someone might have strategically reshuffled assets to reduce tax burdens or to sidestep community property claims. But what set this moment apart wasn't just the paperwork, it was what came next. Christine scheduled a live stream. No promotional posts, no brand tie-ins. Just a caption that read, "You've asked for the truth. I'll show you what I found." And behind her in the teaser image, an envelope, bigger than the one she leaked before. Handwritten, marked in bold red letters. Bigger. Suddenly, the $500,000 consulting fee and the PayPal screenshots weren't even the story anymore. Because if what's inside that envelope is what fans think it is, it could shake the very foundation of the Brown family finances. And not even Robin could spin her way out of this one. Christine didn't speak a word in the teaser clip. She didn't have to. The image said it all. She sat at her kitchen island, the same one fans had seen in countless cooking videos, with a single manila envelope resting in front of her. No filters, no music, just a shot of her fingers tapping the table, slowly, methodically, while that red scrawl bigger dared viewers to guess what came next. And everyone was guessing. Some believed the envelope contained internal documents from the Brown family's shared LLC showing years of imbalance withdrawals. Others speculated it held the full unedited version of the Coyote Pass land contract, complete with side agreements no one else knew about. A few even whispered that Christine might have gotten her hands on itemized receipts from Robin's luxury spending, proof that the so-called consulting fees had nothing to do with services rendered and everything to do with stocking a doll room and jewelry drawer. Theories ran wild, but one thing was certain: Christine wasn't bluffing. Sources close to her camp claimed that this leak had been in the works for months, carefully timed, legally vetted, and emotionally charged. They say the plan was never to destroy but to reveal, to finally level the playing field after years of whispered deals and silent favoritism. And now, with tax documents, PayPal trails, and correction deeds already public, the envelope was just the final move. What made this moment so different from the others, what gave it its raw magnetic pull, was the fact that it didn't come from TLC. It didn't come from a showrunner or a social media manager. It came from Christine, from the woman who once cooked for a plural family of 20, who quietly shouldered years of inequality, and who finally decided enough was enough. As the livestream countdown ticked down, fans gathered like it was a season finale. Comment sections filled with speculation, support, even panic. One user wrote, "This isn't just a tell-all, it's a financial reckoning." Another said, "Christine's not dropping drama, she's dropping evidence." And at the center of it all was one looming question. If Kody's income truly dropped by half after the land sale, then where did the rest of it go? Was it buried in Robin's mansion? wrapped in custom emeralds, or funneled into LLCs designed to keep everyone else in the dark? Whatever the answer is, one thing's clear. Christine's done playing the quiet ex-wife. And the Brown family, they might never be able to put this genie back in the bottle. Do you think Christine's holding the real receipts? And if so, what do you think Robin and Kody are most afraid will come out next? Like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because this story is far from over. The next video on your screen is waiting, and trust me, you won't want to miss it.